Hey, Jimbo, you ready for this deal?
Turn them out.
Old stories like long lost friends, rodeos and late night bends, history before our time, round pens and pasture rides, cowboys of the Osage.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Cowboys of the Osage podcast, brought to you by the Ben Johnson Cowboy Museum, located in historic downtown Pawhuska, Oklahoma. Hey, it's old Cody over here. And as always, I got my main man with me, Mr. Songwriter, Mr. Rodeo Historian himself, Jimbo Snively. Hey, Jimbo. Good morning. Good to see you. Where are we at? Who are we talking to?
Hey, Cody boy, it's another great day in Osage, man. And Cody, we're at the home of Ralph and Sallye Williams down here just outside Skytook. And Ralph had one of the great and longest careers, and it's still going. You know, he hadn't quit yet. But he was like a 2-time National Finals steer roper, a 19 times IPRA team roper. He's won San Angelo in the steer roping, just a resume a mile long. And his wife, Sallye.
Wild cow milking at Pendleton.
Wild cow
I was
milking
there.
at Pendleton. And his wife, Sallye, was the Indian World Champion barrel racer, multiple IPRA qualifier in the barrel racing. Just a heck of a hand. And,
One of them racing Okies.
Yeah, she's from Kansas, so.
Originally.
Anyway, they've invited us into their home, and we're just really tickled to be down here to get to talk to them. Guys, welcome to the Osage Cowboys of the Osage podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Super glad to have you guys.
Where'd you grow up at, Ralphie?
Right here in Skytook all my life. My granddad started this ranch, I think, over 80 years ago, and we've been raised right here the whole time. We was able to purchase part of our brothers and sisters' land, so we got a pretty good chunk right here, and glad to have it.
The old W Bar. Is that it?
That's it. W Bar Ranch.
What got you started wanting to be a roper?
Well, it's kind of necessity. Fences weren't real good. We had to go get some cattle in for Granddad pretty regular, and he would sure let us rope them. So that's all good. I started out on a little pony, and I can remember barely remember rodeoing at Bartlesville when I was 6 years old in the breakaway calf rope, and I had to lap that arena 2 or 3 times and finally caught that rascal. So I was hooked from there on.
What got you started, Sallye?
Oh, my dad, he was into rodeo, and he was a bull rider and bronc rider in the earlier days, and then as he had a family, he went to doing some roping, and then he always had horses around there, and he did some calf roping and then later some team roping, and we just rode his horses. I bell raced on his calf horses and then his roping horses, and he'd work them all for us, and he grew up breaking horses for people, and so
What was his name, Sallye?
Buddy Fleming.
Buddy Fleming.
He was from Kansas,
Yes, ma'am.
and then we moved to Oklahoma when I was young, and he was a welder. Eventually worked at American Airlines, and then rodeoed on the weekends, and so we got pretty involved in it. He really liked doing it.
Hey, Jimbo, a while ago, he was talking about the fences around here. I don't know how they are right now, but he's got, I don't think it might be one of his inventions, I'm not sure, but it's called the yoke.
Yeah.
It's basically a post that he puts around the steer's neck. Some of them's pretty long.
Yeah.
And so they can't fit out of the hole.
Yeah. Those are pretty common for people who don't have good fences. We used to have one too, had a yoke. You get an old
Now, wait a minute. The fences are good, but you go to dealing with these old Corianni steers and milk cows and stuff, they're going to stretch a fence and get out. So for safety purposes, we put a yoke on them, keeps them off the road.
Just in case.
And we've designed those yokes in several different models. And if they need a mega yoke, we got it.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got from regular all the way to mega
Yeah, we
yokes.
used to have them too.
You know, before we get started too much, when I first started coming down here, practicing a little bit with Ralphie, he didn't have a back end on the end of his arena whatsoever. In fact, when you got done roping around the steers, you had to go gather the whole W bar to get them back to rope them again. When did you finally put a back end on your arena over there, Ralphie?
Well, I don't remember what year that was. My dad had just got a deal, and he went to Osage County and got a big load of railroad ties. So we put the sides up on that pen. I can remember my grandpa, Gabe Israel, pulling himself up, chinning himself over a railroad tie and lining up the next one. So we built the side on the arena right there, and then kind of get to craving the roping, so we went ahead and roped, and we just took our time about getting that back end in there.
40 years or so.
Really learned how to dally, so we didn't have to go to pasture to get our ropes. George Morton, he would have to go to the backside a lot of times because he'd miss a dally once in a while.
That's a deal. Once you barely get it ready to rope, don't ever rope in your arena until you get it completely finished, or it might be 40 years before you put the back end on it.
Right. Right. Did you do any bronc riding or anything, Ralphie, or you always rode?
Junior rodeoed a little bit, bareback rode on a couple little ponies, and rode some steers, but once we got into them young bulls, kind of gave it up right there. You don't live to be this old if you're a bull rider, so I went completely timed events after that.
Yeah, that's smart.
We got the grandkids back here, little Ralphie and the other one. They did a rope trick
Marshall.
deal for us a while ago. Marshall and Ralphie, little
yeah.
Ralphie. That's what everyone's hearing back
They're
there.
going to be trick ropers.
I think they should get them some bull whips and they start practicing whipping stuff out of their hands and stuff.
Right, right.
Pretty soon they'll be pretty good at it, I would assume. About as good as they are at their rope trick they got going.
Right.
The one, he can twirl a rope and sing the Lion King song all at the same time.
There you go. There you go.
Pretty impressive.
The other one got a riddle, and that riddle was hard to catch. Maybe we better tell that. Is that allowed?
A riddle?
A riddle over the radio here?
Yeah, family-friendly
Okay,
riddle.
Ralphie's having trouble in school, and he was, the problem was he only knew 25 letters of the alphabet. He just doesn't know why. Okay. His dad.
I heard him tell us that a couple times. I just got it. God,
Takes
I'm
a
dumb.
while.
I'm dumb.
Yeah. So Cole, he lives next door. That's our son, and he roped a lot. He was natural curly-headed, and so he grew that hair out as a kid, and then he picked it and had an afro, and kind of crazy times right there. And our daughter, she lives next door also, so we got our kids good and close.
But Ralphie, most people think of you as a team roper, a lot of people do, but when I first met you, you were steer roping in the Osage Steer Roping Club. Remember roping them heifers with horns and stuff?
Oh, yeah, that was good. I'm a charter member, I guess, so when the club started, I was able to get right in there with them, and they'd buckle them plastic horns on those heifers, and those heads would come off once in a while, and so there'd go your horse. So I had a special pair of designed running boots, and I've had to run the length of that Ben Johnson Arena several times.
You dominated that pretty good. How many of them did you win? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't think I dominated.
I thought
I was
you
just
did.
real regular there. I might have won that club once before they went to divisions. And then I've won the average a couple times there at the finals, club finals. That's pretty good. I might have won that year-end deal once. But just been hanging in there with them.
I remember you winning one once. My memory seemed like you was all the time winning it.
Yeah, we should update our stats, I guess.
Yeah.
'em. 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 '
Man, I think that's the main event right there. And shoot, there was ropers around here healing. Nick Andrews was good. And my dad watched him. He liked the way he roped. So my dad had me getting that rope over on my left side a little more and rolling it right over that hip. And then I kind of developed my own style of backing off of it. Some people call it floating it in there. And I've been trying to quit that for 40 years. My brother, he quit roping with me because I wouldn't quit floating that rope. But it's worked a long time. And that healing event.
That's your signature style, though, Ralphie.
That's right.
That's called the Big Sane, Ralphie. That's the Big Ralphie.
It's a lot of fun, that healing. The steer roping, I think it's the second most dangerous event in rodeo right there. And you can pick the first one, whatever you think. But
bareback riding.
It's not really for older guys, but they've come up with the over 50 divisions, so I'm staying hooked in that. I retired my horse, Snoopy, at 28 years old this spring. He's over here at a neighbor guy's. Gary Lomax has got him for his 2 granddaughters to ride around, and he's still healthy and stuff. So I'm borrowing a horse, and my good friend Brad Prather and I were both riding his horse, and he had that accident and got killed and stuff. So that horse is in the family right there now. That's probably where he'll stay, but I just go get him on the weekends and ride him. And he's a good old man's horse. He takes care of me pretty good. So,
what makes steer roping the second most dangerous sport, you think, Ralphie?
Oh, it's just things can go wrong so easy. You get a horse over that rope, they're just automatically guaranteed to go down.
Or you're tied on tight.
Yeah, tied on solid and stuff. So it's an event where no mistakes will let you win. You can kind of go just a little bit slower, but if you go with no mistakes, you can sure win a little bit.
Me and Jimbo was talking about that today. Slow down and be fast.
Exactly.
But then an old man said, but hurry every chance you get.
Right. Yeah, I rodeoing with Neil Whirl, and he always told me, he said, man, just try to be 12. But you can't do it. You can't do it. You want to hurry every chance you can.
Well, dollar signs get you going a little faster than your body's capable of going sometimes when you're seeing them in your eyes running down there.
Exactly right.
What was it like roping at the National Finals steer roping?
Well, that was a tough one. The first year I went there, I didn't do any good.
Where were you at?
Lazy E.
Okay.
That's a premier spot right there. I've been to Mulvane and watched it since. Those fast times, that's pretty exciting. But the Lazy E, if you'll do things right and take your time and just do them in steps that you practice and try to get down, that's the best place to rope right there at the Lazy E. Second year I went, placed in a couple rounds, won $10,000. So that was real good back then, but nowadays they've got money really good. So it's pretty enticing to get out there and try to get part of it.
Yeah, Cody's talking about breaking back out a little bit.
Going to the club ropings.
Oh.
And then,
There you go.
We got 3 steer horses at the house right
now.
now.
Go to Cheyenne, then you want to go to Pendleton. Before you know it, you're at the finals.
Well, last time I was at the finals, I was untying steers, you know,
Well,
for the guys that made it. Ralphie, who got you healing? You said your dad liked this guy's style, but who did you kind of pattern yourself after when you got the big float going? Nobody? You just figured out that's how you can catch?
Yeah. I started out roping around here with my brother, and me and him and Jimmy Hurd, we hit the trail, and it wasn't long. I had Paul E. Foreman. Me and him would rope just a little bit at the jackpots. So then him and T. Woolman come through the country, and they were short a partner. They needed another partner.
You could enter the IRAs and a lot of amateurs more than once, right?
That's right. Is go twice in IRAs, so I could go and head for one and heel for the other one, and we could mix it up. Paul E., he mainly heeled back then, but when he won the world championship there at the IRA finals, he was heading for me. So I went to going with them. That's T and Paul E., and we IRA rodeoed around there a little bit. And then T, he came to Claremore Junior College, and we rodeoed there, made the college finals. And shoot, I don't know. I guess that's...
Was T a great roper when he was young? Was he
Oh, yeah.
heads and tails above everybody else then, or did he work hard and get up there to it? I mean...
Shoot, he was a little bit ahead of everybody right there. So got the good partners and stuff, and didn't take long. He was able to get good horses, and just the way things begun right there. You know, you work at it and you go and you get to craving it and you go more and gets in your blood. So then kind of get to where you ain't got time to hold down a regular job. You got to get in the rig and get on the trail and get in the practice pen. So it's a job. Rodeoing's a job. But yeah, that was a good time right there. Roping with T. Woolman and Paul E. Foreman, and shoot, me and Mick Foreman roped at the IRA finals one year. So
Where'd they have the IRA finals at back then?
and they had them at Tulsa, and I think that's about the best place right there, downtown Civic Center, and you could park underground. It's pretty amazing. Go down there at Tulsa for the IFR. Then they moved them to Oklahoma City, roped in the Myriad downtown down there a time or two, and then to the fairgrounds. And now they're having them at Lazy Arena out there.
Right.
Seems bigger than ever over there at the Lazy Arena.
Yeah,
Seems like it's really
I think
getting
that
bigger.
just changed hands. IPRA just changed hands from, I don't know for sure who bought it, but they've got supposed to have big money coming in there now. So I see a lot of people going to IRA rodeos, and
Is that WCRA or something? that bought-
WRCA.
WRCA.
WRCA is affiliated and stuff, so that's good. Just this past weekend, I seen Brad Culpepper and his boy, and Manny Coondy's roping with Speed Williams' boy at local rodeos. We were at Miami, or Veneta's rodeo on Tuesday, and we were at Oswego last night, and they were there, so they're trying to make the IRA finals again. They've been there lots of times.
The other day I called Ralphie up. I said, "Where you at, Ralphie?" "Shoot, I'm down in Florida." And then I called him back a few days later. He was in Arizona. He's still rodeoing harder than just as hard as he ever has.
Now explain those Indian rodeos, Ralphie.
Okay, they're pretty good. Back in the day, you had to prove a quarter Indian before you could go. And they've finally opened that up a little bit. And now if you show any Indian blood at all, you can go. So it's got bigger and better. That COVID right there really hurt our region system. We used to have 5 or 6 rodeos in the region, and they went to a system where if you added $5,000 to each event, you could be a tour rodeo. And so each region was allowed one tour, I think, and maybe one smaller rodeo. But now they've got them where if they're 5,000 added or more, they're automatic qualifiers. So if you win one, you get to go to the finals. And so we're trying to get Sallye in. They have that way right there, automatic qualifiers. If you win first, you're in, or you got to make the top 10 in the standings. So Sally's horse is getting a little bit older, and we've been going a bunch and trying not to miss any. And we've got her in the top 5 at the moment. So I've qualified in the over 50 breakaway and the senior heeling, so I'm kind of already in there. And we're entered at Pine Ridge, South Dakota next Friday, and then on to Poplar, Montana for Saturday morning.
Wow.
Box Elder, Montana. So.
Do they have breakaway roping
I love
for
it.
ladies, or is it just
Yes, they do.
you do that, or just the
No,
barrels?
I did for a while, but I'm not very good at that. So
She
I
heals
kinda-
good, Jimbo. Holy moly.
Kind of quit. doing
Yeah,
that.
her and our daughter, Quista, they tried them on there for a couple years in the ladies' breakaway. And it'd make Quista mad because Sally'd catch every one, might not win it or might not even place, but Quista, she fought her head on catching.
Right.
And they practiced a lot around here. They really worked at it through that. But that breakaway's got so tough that
Oh man.
they've kind of phased out of that.
I want to know something. How'd you two meet? How did Ralphie and Sallye meet?
At the rodeo, I bet.
I'm going to be real surprised if it wasn't at a rodeo.
It's kind of a political deal. we were on going to school at Claremore Junior College, and I think I was the club president over there, and she was on the rodeo team right there. So that's how we met. She lived at Owasso, I lived at Skytook. So that worked out.
How long ago was it?
Well, that was about 45 years. I think we courted for over 5 years, didn't we?
Probably.
And I don't know how current this deal will go down, but today is July 27th, I think. So that makes our anniversary.
41st.
41st anniversary. That's
Today.
some kind of record right there, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. Congratulations.
Pretty proud of that. Thank
And
you.
congratulations that you
Thank
remembered
you.
that.
Well, we remembered
I don't
it.
remember mine.
We remembered it last night when the rodeo clown at Oswego said something about an anniversary. I said, well, what is today? Oh, well, tomorrow is our anniversary. We always forget.
Yeah, tell them about where we usually remember our anniversary and what we like to do on our anniversary.
Well, we used to remember it at Cheyenne. It was at Cheyenne every year. And that one year when we had run all the wheels off the trailer when we went from Fredonia, Kansas Rodeo.
I remember that when y'all did that.
When he made the finals in 3 events.
Yes.
When Cody Lee won.
Yeah. It was the short
Yeah.
round day y'all ran. It wasn't just any.
Yeah.
It was the day of the short round. They're trying to get back for the short round.
And after it was all said and done, which was panic mode.
He made it in the senior steer roping, the regular steer roping, and the team roping, all back to the short round. And they ran all the wheels off.
And
Okay.
we ran 3 wheels off that trailer. We found a hub at the last minute that was in the trailer and single axled it in.
Wasn't someone on their way to pick y'all up or something? I don't even remember.
He kept telling them, no, we'll make it. They
Okay.
kept saying, you want to send somebody? I said, have them send somebody. He kept saying, no, we'll make it. We'll make it.
Well,
But anyway, after it was all said and done that evening, he was like, phew, made it. It's all over, and it's like, what is today? It's our anniversary. Because it was always our anniversary when we was up there.
that was
And
a great day for an
We go to
anniversary.
Red Lobster on our anniversary.
Yep.
How'd you do in the finals?
That year,
Yeah.
talking about that year, well, I fooled around and missed one steer, but I think that must have been in the seniors because I probably could have won it. So I probably caught the open steer and placed.
Yep.
Won money at Cheyenne.
And
so
then Cody Lee was his partner, and he won the
all
all-around
around.
that
Yeah.
year.
Huh.
Yeah. That
It was real
good.
close. If Ralphie had done a little bit better in the steer roping, he could have edged Cody Lee out of that all around. But Cody Lee, he placed pretty deep in the steer roping that year too, didn't he?
Yep.
Somewhere.
Yep, he sure did. He turned us a good one in the first round, and man, it just worked. We won money in the first round, and then come back in the short go, kind of down the line a little ways, and that steer kind of faded to the left just a little bit. And Justin McKee was announcing, and that steer was on that left fence, and I just kind of floated it in there and caught him, and Justin knew it was coming, but he couldn't hardly believe it, and he just cracked up over there on that microphone.
It was one of the best heeling
It
shots you
worked.
ever saw, Jimbo.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he got that loop between the steer and the fence because I was watching it that day too, and it was just an unbelievable loop. It really was, Ralphie.
Yeah. That's good times right there.
And then the next year, he was riding in the grand entry in a wagon or something, and the track announcer said, "Well, there's old Ralphie Williams. All the stars came out today."
Yeah, I'd asked the mayor if I could ride with him. Him and his wife were in that wagon. They looked kind of lonely, and there's an empty seat right there. I said, "Can I join you guys?" And so the track announcer, he recognized me, and I got
He didn't recognize the mayor, but he recognized Ralphie.
Well,
Shoot, it wasn't but a couple years ago, me and Robert Fudge, we filled in up there. They had a blank spot in the lineup of their parade. And so me and Robert, we just rode in there. And we seen people we know in the stands, so we waved, and it's good times.
They were looking on their list to see who was in that spot, and they didn't recognize them. They just said, you won't find us on your list.
Didn't Robert become like a pretty big sponsor of the rodeo over there?
Yes,
He's there now,
yes.
yeah.
He's got
His own box seat up there. Last time I was
You
there.
bet.
Yeah.
Next door neighbor, Robert Fudge, he's got a big company, 3S company, and they got a lot of workers in the refinery up there at Cheyenne, so he goes up there and treats them around.
And Ralph's brother's handling his team of horses and wagon for some of the sponsors.
Yeah,
up
Johnny
there.
Williams. He's up there right now. Got a big team.
Oh, he's having a blast up there.
Yes, sir.
Right. He takes care of those horses for Robert and stuff.
Yeah, their neighbor Robert here, he's been a good friend of the Rodeo Cowboys for a number of years, Jimbo. Just want to send him a shout out. Thanks, Robert, for being a great friend to all Rodeo Cowboys.
You bet. Sally Ralphie was telling me something about year 2000, you won the Triple Crown.
That's pretty good right there.
What
She
were the
beat-
events?
Team roping and ribbon roping and bell racing, I think.
Ribbon running.
Ribbon running, yeah, and bell racing.
Cool.
Yeah, they
Senior
had those
pros.
finals at Claremore. She was roping with Wayne Moss right there,
Yeah.
and they run 3 steers just smooth and
Yeah.
perfect. And me and Paul E was there, and they just eased on by us, won the deal. Me and Sally roped in the ribbon roping, and man, I'd get on some of them old guys' good horses. That was fun. They had the best horses, those old guys, and so that was only, I think me and Sally were in the Pee Wee division then, as the over 40s. But nowadays we're in the over 50s. And they just keep creating stuff for me. I've been trying to retire for a long time. They got
I don't
over
believe him.
50 team roping, seniors trippings, and everything else.
He ain't trying to
They're not
retire.
gonna
He'd
let
still
you
be entering the
retire,
other
doesn't
ones.
sound like. Did you guys ever do any head and heeling together in competition?
Oh yeah. We got a plaque back here in the other room. It's a husband and wife trophy. They had a husband and wife team roping over at Claremore. So Sally started out heading, and then she got teasing into that heeling when she got to tying on. She really liked that. So
Yeah, Dolly, I know it was fun.
yeah.
Yeah, women can tie on. You got your own style of healing, and there's another guy, big IRA guy, that has his own style of roping too. Old Terry Crow. Did you two ever match up together and rope together?
Oh yeah, we got a pretty good history right there. We traveled together a long time. Matter of fact, we should have Terry here with us now. Actually, I'm just kidding. He really hates interviews.
Yeah, we got to get him over here. Terry, we need you.
Yeah, that's good.
I think I got a lot of respect for Terry Crow just because, he's such a good roper, never looks like he's going that fast, but when he throws his hands in the air calf roping or dallies up team roping, usually that clock stops in a pretty fast manner right there.
he does have his own style, and he could really get it out of his hand in the calf roping. And heading, it's a little bit different. You'd think his horses would be ducking and hard to ride and all that, but he can keep a head horse free. But I rode his calf horse a time or two, and that's about all I needed right there. They could read your mind before you could, and they would stop way early.
Who are some of the other guys that you team rope with that people might know?
Oh, Hugh Rideout,
Britton Hall's dad, Bob Hall.
Bob Hall, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bobby
yeah,
Hall. He was a big
huge,
IRA
yeah.
guy for sure.
Rutherfords, they were tough. Jim and Rick Rutherford. We roped with them when I was traveling with Hugh Rideout.
They related to Buck Rutherford by chance?
Very possible, very possible. I'm not sure about that.
They were IRA
They had a
guys.
daughter. There was a world champion, WPRA, Twyla Rutherford. My mom roped with her some. And it's just too big a list of roping partners right there. All good friends, too. I think I
Right.
could call them all now and get a run somewhere.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
I've never heard one person in the history of people have one bad word to say about Ralphie.
Oh, no, I
ever.
never have.
He's just one of the best guys and just best all around hands. I used to be a pretty wild type of guy, Jimbo,
Really?
and I did. And, I did a lot of things that maybe people aren't supposed to do and acted in ways you ain't supposed to act. But I tell you what, hanging out around a guy and traveling with a guy like Ralphie, he changed my life and changed my whole point of view
Straightened you up a little
on
bit.
everything. Yeah, he did, for sure. He just such a great guy and such a positive person. And, he acts the way you're supposed to act around people and stuff like that. So, I've just gained a whole lot of respect for the man just because he's just one of the best guys I ever met, Jimbo.
Right.
So, he's a great guy to strive to be like, or any kid that gets a chance to hang out with him over here and maybe learn a few things from him.
Right. Good role model.
Great
sure.
role model.
For sure.
He's a good role model for me at 40 years old. So
Yeah. Well, you needed one.
I
I'm
did.
sure.
I needed to be set straight, Jimbo.
Yeah, it's almost getting a little deep in here now. We better
No, he
change
knows
the
it. He
subject.
knows I feel that way. I told him that.
What
a
about
few
that
times.
wild cow milking at Pendleton when you just kind of had my back right there? We better tell them about that.
Yeah, let's tell him about it, Jimbo.
Shoot,
Or
yeah.
Ralphie.
That was one of the buckles I really like. I did win Pendleton wild cow milking one year.
Yes, sir.
So I recruited around there. The first year, I got one of those Oregon guys to mug for me, and man, the old cow took him out. He had to have knee surgery.
What is it about the cow milk in there that's a little bit wilder than most cow milkings, Ralphie?
Man, first of all, they fire a gun, and so that if your horse ever knows about this shot coming, they're a little hard to hold. And I was riding old Snoopy back then, so they start all the ropers at one end and the cows at the other, and they fire a gun and away you go. But it's on the grass, so I got to get me a partner that has rubber-soled boots. And so I had me a mugger ready to mug, but he had leather-soled boots on, so we got to shop around. And you remember Quentin Taylor loaned us his boots. He's the
Quentin.
only guy with a big enough foot for Rio
Losi.
to trade boots with. So they traded boots. And I ain't for sure if you was coming out of the Lutterbuck room or if Rio was, but you slapped him.
Well, we decided Rio was too nice. We needed to make him mad before
That's it.
before
You
he started
slapped
mugging us,
him.
because these cows were pretty soggy, and he just seemed like too nice a guy.
Too
Might
laid
not-
back
Exactly.
for that kind of cattle.
Andy didn't want to do it.
He wasn't really wanting to do it. But I made him real good and mad, Jimbo, and I'll be dang.
Yeah, well, after it's over, he kind of come hunting you, and you tripped on that grass, and he dogpiled you right out in the middle.
Yep.
He got even with you.
I got what I deserved at the end.
Yeah, so that's
But
good.
Ralphie got that buckle.
That's right. It kind of shaped up not the best because I was a little bit on the left side, and most of the cows went right except for one. And I think it was a local Indian up there, had his sights on her and was running her down the track. I think that's headed north. And I thought, man, there's a 50-50 chance this guy might miss. And sure enough, he did. And I just kind of rode past him and caught that cow and turned off like I was handling a steer for somebody healing. And we were right by the winner's circle, and Rio had her. And that's how we won the deal right there.
Ralph just slipped on in, eased on in there and milked her. Slipped right across the line.
Sally's been to Pendleton. She run old Colt. He's one of our famous horses. She ran old Colt across the grass right there. Give us a little short version of your warm-up stuff.
Yeah,
right
tell
there.
us what it takes to get a horse ready to run at Pendleton, because I was here and I was pretty amazed by what she was doing just to get ready, because it's a lot bigger track than normal, right?
Yeah, you got to get them in really good shape. And we had gone up north for about 3 weeks before Pendleton, and I just kept jogging him around big old pastures, that big steer roping up there.
Don King Day. She
Around
warmed
their
him up.
field, and just kept, and then whenever we got there and they was tying down steers at Pendleton, and I just kept trotting him across the grass because they won't go across. They have a tendency to duck that second barrel over there, So
Yes.
he kept wanting to just leave, so I kept trotting him across there, and he hung in there whenever it came time to run. So I ran him there for about 4 years. I placed two out of
She got
4.
Scoobied one year.
Oh yeah, we were split 12th in the Longo, and they won't take splits.
So how did they
They just took 11.
they just took 11s?
Yeah.
Took 11. Just
So-
missed a short go that
Right.
year.
How many did you one in a short or two in a short?
It's just one.
One and a short?
on the belt.
Well, they should have took splits then. They should have took
Yeah.
splits on that one.
Yeah.
If there's two, they could have took, if you had a faster run than the other one.
Right,
one of
right.
them, but
No, it's just one and a short.
did they just draw who got to go or what?
No, neither one got to go.
Oh.
They just took 11.
They just took 11.
We split 12th, and they didn't take 13. They took 11.
Well, heck. Dang the
So,
luck.
Yeah, no, should have went a little faster, I guess.
Could have been 3 out of 4 years.
But it's a long run for sure.
Yeah, she'd take her horse and lope him around the whole outside of those arenas, Jimbo. And I asked her, I said, what are you doing? And she said she's building his air up so that horse could breathe on that big track that they run the barrels on there.
What's the elevation up there? Is it quite a bit more than what we've got here?
I don't know.
I think it is
I would
a little
assume.
bit.
But I was going to
It
just,
is a
I was
little
just going to
bit.
let him just run, you know, and everything. But I mean, it's a long way, so I just kind of went to the whip early. I'm like, what else are you going to do going across there? It's like, well, we need to get there a little faster, so I'd spank him a little bit, keep him going. You know, it's a long ways across there, but it is fun. It was really fun on him. But, you want something that you can trust, because don't sit before you get to the dirt. It is slick.
What did you put spikes in your shoes? Did you take your shoes off or just run what you had?
He never had shoes on.
Okay.
So I didn't. He just ran barefoot, no spikes or anything. He's just normal.
Seemed like a lot of people take their shoes off up there and just let them run natural barefooted because they say that's the way that a horse knows how to run on grass.
I don't know.
That's kind of what Uncle John thinks too, right there.
I don't know what the ones with shoes do. 'Cause
We
didn't have
had
them.
got old Colt through Uncle John, and he had him a while up there. I think he even broke him to ride, and so he had a really good handle on him. That's what she liked about him. But he never shod him, so that's pretty good. Old Colt never had shoes on through his whole career.
Yeah, right.
And of course, Uncle John is the great John D. Israel, right?
That's right. That's right. That's three names right there go together. It's Uncle John, it's Big Ralph, and Little Ralph. So my dad, he's the one that helped me about the most. Kept horses
That's
kind
Big
of under
Ralph.
me and stuff. Yeah, Big Ralph.
And you're Little Ralph.
I'm Little Ralph. That's right.
And then we got Ralphie
That's
over here.
right. We sure do. Got fourth generation.
Little bitty
right
Ralph.
there. Yeah.
What was it like winning San Angelo? That's one of the biggest jackpots there is.
Yes, sirree. That was a good one right there. We
drove
Just-
all night to get there.
That's
Me
right.
and you did, remember?
That's right. Exactly right.
Got there when the sun was coming up.
Yeah, I ain't for sure where we'd been.
Circuit finals.
Circuit finals, yeah.
I think so.
There you go. There you go. It's a good one. Big old pen. Unlike team roping, you don't have a helper to hold them steers straight. You got to have a cow pony that'll follow. You just got to be ready for a good shot. Hope he lays. Hope he don't kick. Just got to put them runs together one at a time.
And you're going right into a big crowd when you go left there, Jimbo. It seems like when you finally go left at San Angelo, you're just going right into that big grandstand, what it feels like.
Right. Yeah, they say back in the day that Calcutta buyers, if they didn't want one roper to win, they might wave a big old blanket in the stands and scare a horse.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So
I heard that when they're just playing over and under. You know, one guy sets 13 flat, and the other guy gets to say over or under. And I've heard they've scared horses away just playing over and under there. Not even a full-fledged Calcutta buyer.
Who had you in the Calcutta? Did you ever know?
I did. I can't remember the guy's name, but he brought me a little bit of money. So back in the day, I think that was the trend. If you won some money, the Calcutta would come pay you a little bit.
Right.
So that's all good right there.
Money's nice, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That time of year is real
Yeah,
nice
I
most
bet.
time, Jimbo. I didn't have two quarters to rub together most time that time of year.
Yeah.
San Angelo is about one of the last opens of the year.
Right.
A lot of
It was in
times.
November, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is in November. First or second week in November. I can't remember.
Yeah, they take those cattle straight to the National Finals Steer Open from there, I think.
Normally they do, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a big roping. It's a great
yeah.
roping if you get a chance to go down there.
Yep.
Highly, highly encourage you to get down there. Hey, Ralphie, one time we were roping the dummy, me and you somewheres, and you told me, well, what it was is I said, hey, let's play a game of pig, Ralphie. And I really thought I was a hot shot trick roper and stuff. But, well, Ralph Hannett schooled me pretty hard on that game of pig that day. And I said, where the heck did you learn how to trick rope like that, Ralphie? And you told me you went down to Mexico on rodeoing or a mission trip, or I'm not sure exactly what it was, but you did some cowboying down in old Mexico. I've always meant to ask you about that.
Yeah, that was college deal. And Sally, you went 1 year, didn't you?
No.
You didn't get to go?
They did that after I left.
Okay.
Claremore
Clem
did that.
McSpadden put that together. The coach at Claremore College then was Bruce Huff. Him and Clem was good buddies. And we went to South Mexico, kind of on a little goodwill tour, and put on a rodeo. So you had to ride a bull. They kind of had some tryouts up here. You had to be in the bull riding or do something else, you know. So I did a little bit of trick roping. We got down there in Mexico, and I got to do a routine with the champion trick roper of Old Mexico.
Ooh.
So that's pretty good. They got a tradition down there. If they don't like it, whatever you're doing, they'll whistle. And every kid down there can whistle. So the girls were doing a little bit of goat tying, and I went out there to get that goat out there, and the goat wouldn't lead. And he kind of choked down. And them little kids got to whistling at me. I wind up carrying that goat out there like a baby. So anyhow, I didn't know any Spanish. And I was working the chutes in the saddle bronc riding, and here comes a bronc. I was in the arena. Here comes a bronc, had bucked a guy off. He come over there in the round pens, all them arenas in Mexico around, and I kept hollering at this guy, open the gate, let me out, open the gate, open the gate. And he couldn't understand me, and that saddle bronc horse mowed me down. So when I come to, the first thing I learned was how to say open the gate in Spanish. Obre la porta. So.
He still remembers
Educational trip during college right there.
Yeah, I always wondered what the deal was with that. I just never ever asked you again after that. So.
Yeah, that's fortunate times right there to travel like that, go to Mexico.
Did y'all drive down there?
We sure did. I had a good buddy, rough stock guy, George Burden. He got into some bad water or something, and they say you're not supposed to drink the water in Old Mexico. And man, he got the trots. We had to stop that van and let him head to the bushes. Crazy. So you only drink pop down there, no water.
Make sure it's canned.
Right.
That's for sure. Holy moly. Hey, Ralphie and Sally, what's the most rodeos you guys have ever entered in like a week or 2 week span and actually got to?
Well, I'll just tell you how we're entered up this week. Sally, you can think of the count right there. Tuesday, we went to Bonita Rodeo. They even had steer tripping over there, the ACRA Rodeo. Wednesday, Oswego. Tonight, we got a beeline at Pawnee. And Friday is Bartlesville. They're tripping there. And then we got that memorial team roping Saturday morning up here at Freddie Craters at Oshaleta. Saturday night to Sedan, and they're tripping there. So that's just a medium-sized week right there.
There were times we used to do 2 in one day and go all week like that. So maybe make 8 or 10 a week.
I'm glad you're slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it. Shoot, back in the day, me and Sally, we had to put 2 rigs on the road to just barely get by.
Right.
One time, Jimbo, me and Ralphie, we were on the road. I mean, we were probably on the road for about a month and hadn't been home or anything. And we were going by, you know, up there on I-35 by Wichita, there's that gas station used to have a Hardee's right there. Mm-hmm. Well, we stopped in that Hardee's right there, and he got in the truck with someone else to go watch Sally run barrels that night. That's how much Ralphie loves rodeo. We hadn't been home, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's Mr. Rodeo. I'm pretty sure that song old Jake Hooker sings is about Ralphie. Rodeo man.
Might be.
I like that trip we had with Brian Garr and that rig. We were loaded down, you and Lauren and the baby.
Me, Lauren, the baby, you, Kawista, Brian Garr, his wife, and our buddy Larry. There was 8 of us
yes,
in that
sir.
rig. It was like the Partridge Family, sort of, Jimbo. And I'd tell you more about that trip on the way home. It's pretty funny. But it's, yeah, we stayed, you know what? That roping you won up there at Wyoming, the Tillard roping, Andy Tillard roping. Tell us about that roping real quick. It's kind of a different deal.
It sure is. That might be a bigger arena than Pawhuska.
Maybe.
It's big. Ground is kind of hard. Sometimes there'll be clods out there, and them steers
Big
will
uns.
slide. Those steers be coming at you 100 mile an hour. If you got a right-handed tie, you better hustle if you're going to step across that rope. It's kind of a little bit of an invitational roping, but seems like everybody goes. White shirts only, as a tribute to, I think, Andy Tillard.
Yeah,
That's
if you
good.
didn't have a white button-up shirt, you can't rope.
Right.
Yeah.
Period. No exceptions. They about didn't let JD rope over some patches on his shirt
Yeah.
one time I heard.
Yeah, that's good.
What do they do to the winner there, Ralphie?
Man, they throw you in the horse tank. I was screaming bloody murder trying to get some help. Everybody's watching, but nobody's helping. Two of them big old Tillard boys took me over and dunked me right good.
And then they made this water trough out of a tire from a dump truck in a coal mine, which, they're a tire as tall as his house, on a dump truck in a coal mine. And they had the steel belt all the way around it. And when they threw Ralphie in there, they slid him over all that steel belting, and he had steel belt splinters all over his hand and arm.
Yeah, a little bit of road rash
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, he was picking them out for a while.
As long as
after
you
that.
got their money, that's all that matters.
That's right. That wasn't bad at all. Free feed that night is all good.
Yeah, that's a great little roping.
Ralphie, if you were making a Mount Rushmore of IRA team ropers, you were in IRA a long time, who would you put on it? Need 4 names.
4 of the top ropers.
Yeah, or
in
just who
IRA?
you think would belong on that Mount Rushmore.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot, I don't know about that.
What about just ropers, period? Don't matter what they're roping,
Man, they're
Ralphie.
everywhere.
Need 4
They're
names for
everywhere.
Mount Rushmore.
Oh. Well, we better put the Rutherfords on there. They're all gone now. Can this include living ropers?
Living,
Anything.
dead.
Anybody you want to put on?
Shoot, we better put the current world champion on there, Cole Patterson, as far as tripping, and Arnold Feltz. And I wish I'd have got to see more of Everett Shaw rope, but
That's an admirable one to put on there. Did you ever
Yeah.
get to see Everett rope?
I think I did, probably as a kid. He used to been to Ben Johnson a lot.
You guys used to go to the Ben Johnson growing up.
That's right.
What was the atmosphere around there?
Well, it's a little bit of a bullying deal going on. Jim Davis and Bucky Braden, they were dominating on the dummy ropings, and they wanted to match, and they kind of picked on us younger kids a little bit. So, but shoot, we lived through that. We got stronger and better. Shoot, I might have to put Neil Worrell on that Mount Rushmore deal, on the tripping deal, because he's won the average at the National Finals Steer Roping. Me and him got to rope together at the timed event championship, so.
Did he enter or was you entered?
He was entered.
You were
I
the
was
helper?
Just helping, yeah. I trained on my calf roping a little bit under Don West right here, local guy. Bud Beeston was a top calf roper.
Bud Beeston was a roper.
Oh, yeah.
I never knew that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew just known him as a horseshoer teacher.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about Big Bud, but Little Bud could really rope calves too. And so there's a story goes along with that. When I was a kid, Big Bud supplied the truck, and my mom would haul me and my brothers and sister and Bud and Debbie Beeston to the junior rodeos. So that was good times right then.
But he's one that started the horseshoeing deal, the Big Bud.
Okay.
Yeah.
down there at Sperry. I helped build some of those buildings down there when I was working for George Carter.
Okay.
We'd go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the most famous horseshoeing schools anywhere. Is it still operating?
No.
Done?
Yeah.
Dang it. What about you, Sally? Mount Rushmore, 4 greatest cowgirls you've seen or heard of.
There's so many I couldn't even. But my idol, whenever I was, running barrels, was Betty Roper. Mm-hmm. She did good, very good in the IRAs, and she was always at all the rodeos I went to and winning all the time, and she was a great hand. She did a good job training and working, and then of course there's several now everybody's, got good horses and doing good training. So, but I remember her as growing up as a person that I really admired.
Nice. That's pretty good to think of right there. Betty
Yeah.
Roper.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even need anybody else on the Mount
No,
Rushmore
no.
besides Betty Roper. Well, you got anything else for him, Jimbo?
No, just thank them for inviting us into their home. And I know they've got a rodeo to go to tonight.
This has been a long time coming. We've been
Oh,
calling
yeah.
Ralphie for only about 2 years.
Finally
Do
got
one
him
of these.
pinned down.
He was a little leery.
Yeah.
He didn't realize I've calmed down this much.
Yeah, he was thinking it was the old Cody.
Yeah. He was thinking it was the old Cody.
Shoot, that's all good. It's all good. Shoot, my favorite saying. Have you heard it?
Let's hear it.
You know, I had a small announcing career.
I do know your favorite saying right now. It's called shoot yeah.
That's one of them. But I like to say, get a rope on him. And then my second favorite saying is, get another rope on him.
Did you hear? They had me and Jimbo announce a rodeo the other day. Claremore
I heard
steer
that.
roping.
I heard that. I wish I'd have got to come over there.
We thought you were going to be there. We're going to bring you up there with us.
Man, oh man. Yeah, my announcing career hadn't done real well. And my daughter, she was going to have a singing career, but she's worked Vegas. She sang the national anthem at the Indian Finals in Vegas. So her career still got a chance, but my announcing career, I don't think that's good. I wanted to be an auctioneer too, but I never could count very good. So that's where you come across, ain't it?
Well, I
You're
always
an
wanted to be
auctioneer.
one. Then I just decided to be one day, and I'm still not a very good one, but I've done quite a few auctions to this point.
You must
There
be
you go.
pretty good. Everybody wants you to do them.
Yeah, I'm auctioneering a deal at the Cowboy Hall of Fame next month. Can you believe that?
Wow,
In
wow.
Oklahoma City.
Shoot, yeah. I had a call on the job of announcing. They called me to announce a little rodeo in Kansas, a little women's ranch rodeo. But shoot, I think that fell right on the Box Elder, Montana trip we got planned. So couldn't do it.
Hey, if anyone's looking for a good announcer out there that knows his stuff about rodeo, all the terminology is good around the kids, give Ralphie a call. He'll be over there. He'll be over there, and you won't regret it. As long as it ain't on top of a Montana run that goes to some Indian rodeos. Well, you guys, good luck over there at Pawnee tonight. Get the money
All right, appreciate it.
at the what is it, Pawnee Bill Rodeo?
Yeah.
Pawnee Bill. He's just second behind Buffalo Bill. I think they were partners back in the early days, actually. That's quite the rodeo. You just team roping there tonight? What are you doing?
No,
Cow
I'm just
milking?
driving for my barrel racer.
What? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of slacked off a little bit on the team roping.
Well, Ralphie, we're going to have to do another one with Ralphie and get Terry Crow up here to be with Ralphie. That'll be a good
There
one.
we go. We got to tell them about you eating those hot wings in Wyoming, but let's save it.
Okay.
That was classic.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
I had to sign a waiver, Jimbo. Made me wear gloves or I wouldn't be able to touch the baby for a week. But
That's hot.
made it. Made it through it, barely. I think I'm still feeling some
still here.
effects from that, Ralphie. I think my stomach hadn't been right ever since that.
It helped you.
Yeah, I even had my picture on the wall there, Jimbo. The next year I took my picture by the picture on the wall. It's one of my proudest achievements I ever did. Champion hot wing eater at Thermopolis, Wyoming.
Everybody's got their day.
Hey. Well, good luck tonight, you guys, and we sure appreciate you coming on, and thank you so much for doing it.
That's fun.
Thank you.
You bet, guys. You bet.
All right, till next week. This has been a great episode of the Cowboys of the Osage podcast. Be sure and come to the museum, like and share on all your social medias, and we'll see y'all next week.
Later.
Old stories like long lost friends, rodeos and late night bends, history before our time, round pens and pasture rides, cowboys of the Osage.